Well, well, well. Welcome back, everyone. Snooze back in town. I know you've been long awaiting for a video like this. We have a return to form, 100 maps, cemetery. Basically exactly the farm I was doing primarily last season. It is, I think, exactly the 500 cemetery farm strategy. Exact same scarabs, exact same sextants. I figured it would be wise to, just pick up back where we left off and expand from there. Definitely planning to do some Crimson Temple this season. I think I'll start with this strategy right here, 100 maps in Cemetery, then I'll do 100 maps like this in the Crimson Temple. From there, I think I'll do a little bit higher level juicing, so this will be kind of the semi-juicing strategy. Very easy to acquire the materials for this. No elevated sextants, no gilded scarab, no winged scarabs, obviously. Quite easy to self-sustain. Of course, with the brand new Atlas passive this season, we have some unique strategies coming up, such as Stream of Consciousness. Talk about a very self-sustainable strategy. Stream of Consciousness combined with Singular Focus. I suspect you may not have to ever trade again if you wanted to run maps like that. I might try doing something like that, but for now we're just going to kind of do my bread and butter strategy. I'll start with the Atlas passives, I guess. I'll talk briefly about my passive skills, but anyone who's been keeping track of my build, for which I've actually showcased a couple times, I'm just moving forward with that build, essentially. Alright, so we have here, everything just kind of looks normal. I'm doing Legion, got Flash Breach, the only thing I'm putting in Breach. The major difference between the end of last season and right now, as far as my strategy, is no Beyond. Instead of Beyond, those points have been devoted to blocking specific mechanics, to Dance of Destruction. Did a couple points left over. I went ahead and put in the extra Harbinger because I didn't have anything else major to do with that. Could be dropping Monumental and some of the other ones, potentially, but as you can see, full-blown strongbox, full-blown shrines. I do not technically need tamper-proof because I'm using it in the sextant for corrupted and rare strongboxes, but I just had like exactly 1 point left over. I was like, I'll just throw it there. Eldritch Gaze is the brand new keystone, so I feel like the altars altogether are not actually as lucrative as they used to be. I don't know, maybe. I definitely like chance for divination cards to be duplicated. That's pretty badass. I have received a duplicated 7 years bad luck on the Crimson Temple earlier this week from this keystone, so that was nice to see. Can't wait to get double brother stashes, or who knows, maybe even quadruple brother stashes if it comes out of a strong box on top of that. That would be absolutely insane. Yeah. So, I do have a little bit higher chance to spawn Delirium. Again, basically, just taking all of the stuff from Beyond and putting it over here. So why did I remove Beyond? Well, there's a few reasons why I removed Beyond compared to last season. I can no longer get an automatic thing of Beyond on my Atlas crafting bench or whatever. That was, I believe it was 13% Beyond. That is no longer there, so if the map doesn't have Beyond rolled on it, and if I'm not using it as a sextant, then the only amount of Beyond I would have is 3%. So it is not nearly as impactful. The passives are, of course, 3% is still something, and with as much juice as is on these maps, obviously there'll still be quite a fair number of Beyond monsters that spawn from that, but that is one major reason I'm not running Beyond. Another major reason not running Beyond is because I'm not running a Headhunter. I am doing Inspired Learning, but with the Arch Nemesis buffs changes, Beyond used to feed like so many extra Headhunter buffs. It probably not nearly as impactful now. I could be wrong about that. I suspect it would scale linearly with the nerfs to Headhunter. I'm not going to talk about Headhunter so much in this video, but anyway, yeah. Another big reason for dropping Beyond is it's dangerous. This season is really challenging, as you all know. I'm enjoying it. I've seen a lot of content creators and other players really talking about Arch Nemesis negatively. They don't like it very much at all. I had already said before this league I thought Headhunter was honestly too powerful. It needed to be knocked down a peg or two. I understand it's an iconic item. I've used it every season since I started playing the game. Literally the first season I started playing the game. I did manage to get one towards the end of that season. Did I enjoy it? Having all that power, having that god mode? Yes. Do I think objectively it's probably too much for the games from a balance standpoint? Yes, I think it was too much for the game. So I am honestly not all that upset to see Headhunter nerfed. And I don't think it is like complete garbage like a lot of people do. I think it's complete garbage in respect to its absolute mega crazy ultra god tier that it was. Sure, compared to that it's complete garbage, but compared to your average belt it's still an amazing item. So I think it's still honestly kind of fine. And because of the nerf to Headhunter, it actually put inspired learning onto the table. So for anyone who has been following my build, sorry I've not come out with a high budget option for this yet. I will eventually, but I'm still working on my gear. To be honest with you guys, I've had quite a bit of setbacks on trying to craft a weapon for myself. I'll talk about that briefly in a moment. I basically wasted an entire day with recombinators, failing miserably to get even just 3 specific modifiers I wanted on the bow. Couldn't believe it, how bad it was. So that was like hitting a brick wall. You know, fair warning to you guys, if you think you can craft the perfect item with recombinators or even something that's decent, good luck. There are some things you can do with recombinators, but it is way more gamble oriented than I realized and than people were suggesting it was. I do think the recombinator system's cool. I think it's a nice alternative to crafting. I think it definitely has a place, and it is extremely exciting for being able to combine modifiers that could otherwise just be illegal to combine, like combining 2 fractured mods, combining 3 templed mods onto an item, things like that. That is exciting no matter who you are. I mean, that's pretty cool. Even if the chances are abysmally low, the fact that it can be done is really exciting, and so I'm happy to see that. But as far as just kind of like, let's say, crafting an incremental upgrade that is nothing super special, it absolutely blows for that, in my opinion. Unless the incremental upgrade is still very much on the low end side. Of course, it is very, very good for like targeting super low weighting mods. So for example, I'm trying to craft basically this bow, but with +2 arrows as well. Or instead of whatever other suffixes, and I just couldn't do it. All I wanted was a merciless and flaring. Those are T1% physical, T1 flat physical, and +2 bows, and I couldn't do it. I recombinated at least 100 bows in total, probably between 100 and 150 bows in total, and I just couldn't do it. It just would not work. I used a wide variety of methods. I used combining magic items. I combined 6 modded items. I combined things incrementally to try and get them to do sort of a long-term approach where I, combine these 2 together and combine those 2 together and combine those all together, and it just never happened. I do think I got pretty unlucky with it, but there was a reason why a bow with % fizz and flat fizz high tier with +2 arrows is still worth 60 exalts or more. Just those 3 modifiers alone, still worth 60 exalts at least. There's a reason for that. Apparently it's still extremely difficult to do, even with recombinators. So be warned, even just targeting 3 specific modifiers and getting them onto the same item is super, super hard, super annoying. Not saying you can't get an item that is pretty good, but as far as specifically targeting 3 very specific modifiers, good luck. And 4, I mean, just forget it. Well, you just have to get super lucky to have that happen, in my opinion. So that's an anecdotal case on my side. It is what it is. So I did obviously want to craft an upgrade to the bow. I was using Lion Eyes Glare. This is an upgrade. This is about 20% more damage, I think, even without plus arrows. It is, ironically, really easy to combine 2 very specific mods you want, especially if they're particularly if it's 2 specific suffixes or 2 specific prefixes. I may make a video on this later on, but it actually is quite easy to get tier 1% fizz and tier 1 flat fizz together on an item. That's not hard. what's really hard is getting the other modifier, either the third prefix or even just one suffix on top of that. The quiver is the same. I happen to have basically a high budget quiver before, so it's the same. I have not double corrupted Darus's Defiance yet. I do have an Omniscience, so Omniscience is a major upgrade. I got a rank 4 Enlighten. Now I have a Brutal Restraint, which kind of giving away any sort of secret there might be. This is, as far as I know, the best seed in the game for this character. This is 2311, so if you see this, you're probably going to want it. This is percent life. Alchemist Genius, if you go to the top side, this is percent frenzy on kill, 20 dexterity, 20% evasion, 8% increased auras, 5% dexterity, 5% dexterity, 25% crit if you do this one down here, 5% movement speed, and another 8% aura. So that is an absolute powerhouse brutal restraint seed. There are a few others. I know that 752 is also a good seed, so if you want to search for that one, be my guest. But yeah, I've been on the lookout for this. I've had it live search since the beginning of the league. I finally got it today, basically 2 weeks into the league. 1.7x or whatever. Apparently there are way fewer timeless jewels in circulation than there were before, so people aren't running 5 ways like crazy nowadays, and people are having a really hard time leveling, as I've noticed. I have been getting through up to level 96, 96 and a half. Surprisingly, I stopped using Sentinel for a while, just so I could get another level, and I've been using it, and I haven't died yet. Or maybe I died once with it at 96. So I'm actually a little bit surprised. I'm successfully leveling from 96 to 97. Currently, I may have a terrible map and lose it all. But anyway, yeah, there were some points removed from this side down here in order to get the Inspired Learning up at the top here where I had to go. I do think Soul Thirst and Inspired Learning is the way to go for this build. I would not recommend getting a Brutal Restraint or Lethal Pride unless you have a S tier seed, basically. I don't, because I had to sacrifice a lot of passives to get it here, and I managed to get my Omniscience up to like 900 or so, even without the Brutal Restraint. But of course, the Brutal Restraint is giving me tons of Omniscience power. I got 1073. So yeah. Oh yeah, I also bought a Watcher's Eye. So I guess it would be, so from going from mid tier to high tier on this build of mine, the major upgrades were Watcher's Eye, Brutal Restraint, a rank 4 Enlighten, and Omniscience. And damn it, those are the big ones. Oh, and a bow upgrade, which honestly I feel like I should have a better bow than this right now. But I just couldn't get one. This is actually a pretty deterministic bow to craft. I've made a few of these, and I might make a video on this. It wasn't too hard to do, so I had a budget maybe 5x to make this. So yeah, chance to gain phasing on kills, pretty cool. That was the last thing I did, was Warlord Slam. If you check the Warlord suffix options on bows, you'll see it's actually quite interesting and very powerful Warlord options there. I'll go ahead and keep that a secret so you guys can look at it. So that's it about the game. Oh, one more thing. I have recently gotten a Pariah, so I took the taming out. I'm no longer getting any usage out of the percent all res anymore. I think where I'm at right now is without flasks up, I got 74%, like one way away from cap, and if I use flasks, I'm way above cap. Oh yeah, also going to high budget, once you get Omniscience, you suddenly get a lot of all resistance, so I suggest switching out a couple of the flasks for different things. Permanent phasing, pretty good. I like that, and I do actually make use of the spell suppress damage. Actually, right now, currently, oh, I do have 100%, yeah, because of increased effect. So because of increased flask effect, I actually do get 100%. I think I have 88% spell suppression without the flask, so I barely hit 100% that way. That's pretty cool. Again, I had to make some sacrifices to my passives in order to get that Inspired Learning. One of the sacrifices I had to make was spell suppression a little bit. So I'm still using a series step. I have to use boots with spell suppression. I really want to use Magic Find boots, and the end game gear setup I can already tell is going to be 2 Pariahs and Goldworm boots. That's going to be the setup. Everything else will probably look the same. Maybe a headhunter, maybe a replica headhunter, maybe a soul thirst. I'm not exactly sure. It's going to be one of those 3 belts. It's definitely not going to be mage blood because I don't think it's actually all that good. Still got my ultra end game helmet here. This helmet's never going to get replaced. This is absolute S plus tier helmet. I managed to get that for 5x. So yeah, bought that early in the season before people could afford it, really. I knew to have that live search set up, so that was smart on my end. Yeah, basically the only major thing I'm not happy with on my gear is my bow. I definitely want to have basically this bow with +2 arrows on it on top of it. So yeah.
I'm not up to that just yet.
My POB will be linked down below. I think the sheet damage when I plug in everything, configure it up properly, I'm doing about 2 million DPS right now. A little bit more than 2 million DPS. Of course, I do something like 10 to 20 times that amount of damage in maps thanks to Soul Thirst and the way that works. So here we are. We got an entire dump tab full of everything. This is going to be Gloom Shrine, Enraged Monsters, Strongbox, Corrupt and Rare, getting extra Strongboxes. Strongbox is even better this season than it was last season for a variety of reasons. Maps containing additional Legion encounter or corrupted maps with 8 modifiers. So I went ahead and averaged this out to 10 chaos apiece on this row here between Legion and corrupted 8 modifiers. This one was 5 chaos apiece. This one was 20 chaos apiece. And then Gloom Shrine was 5 chaos apiece. The scarabs are whatever they are. And the 8.3 exalts is budgeted in for the compasses to match up everything to make the actual cost or investment of the strategy where it is. We are about to start this run. This is again 100 cemetery maps, semi-juicing. Let's see what it comes out to. $15.15x plus 8.3 is about 24. Oh yeah, 24 exalts. I had that listed. Oh no, that's right. Yeah, 23.5 exalts. So 23.5x is going to be in my little notepad document there. That's going to stay there, and that is the total investment for this. Not bad, not too bad. Starting off with a small sample size of maps. Of course, I will be getting more maps early on. Let's see, that's going to go there. I am going to use Sentinel. Yeah, I guess I'll go ahead and show you. So Sentinel, I do think this bottom one, rewards are more likely to be less common, is good. I like the idea of getting Stalker Sentinels. Do not empower normal rarity enemies when I reach my final form on my character. Maybe then I can do that. Alright, so some of the sections were already in there. We're going to run Domination. Again, no Beyond. Domination, just put so many shrines on the map. Really helps with the crazy Arch Nemesis modifiers and being harder. This build been absolutely awesome. I haven't had any major issues with my build as far as being bricked by any Arch Nemesis modifiers. It's been quite easygoing. That probably has something to do with the fact that I don't do just one specialized specific type of damage. I do all 3 different elemental damages, a variety of each at a given time. So even when something is immune to one type of damage or even 2 types of damage, it's okay. It's fine with altars where they suddenly get like 90 lightning resistance on the minions. Doesn't matter. Still do fire and cold damage all the same. I saw a video recently by Kobe, actually Kobe and Grimro talking about an issue where they don't like the headhunter buffs with echoing effect. They were right when they said it's really common. It's super strong for this build. It is obviously super annoying with dash. So my solution is don't use dash. Okay, you don't need to use dash. What do you gotta use dash for? I mean, we're definitely not running a map like Ghetto or something where you really want to be dashing up and down stairs and stuff. Just go permanent phasing. Just be a raider, basically. Or, in this case, a pseudo-raider with a experimenter's quartz flask that lasts like 40 seconds. And go Withering Step instead. This is my setup from before. So again, I'm able to circumvent even another sort of annoying thing built into the game recently that a lot of people are complaining about. I'm not complaining about it because I can adjust my build, you know, come up with solutions to the problems like we're kind of supposed to do and just deal with it. Okay, doing one last check here. $62 mana. Honestly, I think I could manage with a rank 3 Enlighten with this setup. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go and grab some shrines real quick. I will use the Sentinel. I just prefer to use the Sentinel in the first strongbox I open. I don't really want to use it on anything else. I only have like 3,000 HP by default, but I have so many defensive layers. You'll see me that I don't take a whole lot of extra damage for the most part. I will undoubtedly die on this session probably numerous times. I may successfully level up to 97, which would be pretty badass if I do. I'll be quite proud of myself because one sort of interesting aspect of the game this season is it leveling up, especially solo leveling, is hard again. I guess it's really not easy. I even made a video last season about myself leveling all the way to 100, and you know, I was mildly proud of it, but it really wasn't all that hard. This season it's definitely way harder, and I think there's a lot more prestige behind successfully leveling all the way up to 100 yourself without having to use carries. And I don't even know what the situation is in 5-way carries. Maybe somebody can say that in the description down below, or the comments down below. But I don't know, and I don't care, because I'm not going to need a 5-way carry, because I'm pretty confident that at the end, especially with more gear, I will be able to successfully level all the way to 100, even in this crazy environment. The boss is dying faster than ever there. We're towards the end of the last flask. I am a little bit more cautious. It's helping me stay alive sometimes. Like if I fail to kill all the Legion monsters, and especially if I like boost it with Sentinel or something, and then don't kill the Legion monsters while I have my Soul Thirst power up, if you will, it can cause some problems and I can turn around and die. The only time I really feel in danger is when I'm here towards the end of the map, when everything is dead, supposedly, and I turn around and I just get completely owned by one random monster. Again, it could be a blue monster like the one that killed Zizarian, or it could be a rare monster, or even maybe a white monster, I don't know. But if it's empowered with a Sentinel or something, yeah, it's pretty bad, because I have a lot of defensive layers that are highly dependent on me. Oh, okay, so that right there, like that monster right there that I just killed could have been a problem. But fortunately, I still have my flask running, and I have a bunch of Soul Thirst buffs, so I just nuked it off the screen. But now I do not have a bunch of buffs, so it's dangerous. Had a Mariketh Legion, but no emblem. Well, that's too bad. Okay, so that, I mean, that's pretty easy going. It's still very reminiscent of what the playstyle was before. I really have tried to get my movement speed up. I mentioned the Watcher's Eye, but I didn't actually show what it was. My #1 stat for the Watcher's Eye is increased movement speed while you have grace. And that to me is the most important stat.
Hello.
Raw default movement speed, super valuable this season, way more valuable than it has been in the past. Now I will use incubators as I collect them. I will get the loot from them. But here we go, we are depositing everything in there. For breach rings and things, I will probably go ahead and turn those into Grasping Males. Grasping Males are selling for about 6 exalts a piece right now. I will also level a bunch of enhanced supports, which I have a nice pretty little bow here, as you can see. Set up well for enhanced leveling, just like I did last season. Exact same setup. Gem leveling is super premium right now. I can buy a level 1 uncorrupted enhanced support for like 10 chaos. Turn around and sell it bricked at level 3. Corrupted for like 60 chaos, or for like 3 or 4 exalt if it goes into rank 4. So I'm actually making money even when I do not have a successful upgrade. Pretty wild indeed. Okay, map number 2. Maybe something more interesting will happen on this map. Oh, okay, so here we got a Delirium. That's cool. I can showcase the Delirium too. So once again, get Diamond Shrine. One thing I kind of should have mentioned in some of my videos in the past about Soul Thirst and the Shrine spec, crit chance is not really that important of a skill. Because when you pick up all the shrines, also the Arch Nemesis modifier, I think it's Assassin or Trickster or something. I think it's Assassin. Also has gives you 100% critical strike chance. So it's almost like why would you ever prioritize crit when you can just get it, a lot of it, easily. So even with Delirium and my gear not being that amazing, still pretty easily capable of handling League mechanics combined with Arch Nemesis, somewhat far from the beginning of the map. So I mean, this is only probably like 30% delirious right here, but I definitely feel myself doing a bit less damage. I have hardly any Soul Thirst stacks as well, as a matter of fact. Oh, we got a red star, raw exalted orb, so that's happy. Not the best thing I could have got, but you know how it is. Okay, I think I'll use a Sentinel here. Okay, you can kind of see how I did that. I'm not being really ballsy with the Sentinels presently. I could be trying to use them in Legions and stuff, but yeah, I'm not doing it. I recently watched a video of Grimro talking about Headhunter and everything, and I was honestly really disappointed in that video. He went out of his way to mention viable alternatives to the terrible situation of Headhunter, and he failed to mention Soul Thirst in his video anywhere. I do not understand how he can do that and not mention Soul Thirst. And I paid extra special attention to his character and how quickly he was clearing maps. He was actually doing basically the same maps I'm doing. He was doing a Breach Legion strategy. And he has a Corrupting Fever Gladiator. You know, it's obviously not quite as fast as this character, but I mean, look at this. Able to kill the boss in like maximum delirium on Cemetery, and now this map is done. Second Exalted Orb from a currency reward from the Exalted Orb. Very rare indeed. Anyway, back to Grimmo's video. I was watching in the background his character, and he obviously was showcasing himself not dying. I noticed that his character had very low experience. I was wondering what level his character was. I looked it up. It was level 98, so that tells me that he also is struggling a bit to level. He probably hasn't bought any carries, but at least it tells me that his character is not so unbelievably tanky as a gladiator that he never dies or whatever. How is this guy still alive? Freaking killed this guy already. Is he not dead? Oh, I'm gonna get killed if he doesn't disappear here in a second. The Templar Legion boss is one of the only bosses that I really don't want to face up one-on-one. Yeah, so I encourage you guys to kind of see how I'm doing this map, the speed at which I'm moving and going, and then, you know, watch his map, and I think you're going to see that my character is going through a bit faster than his. So I attribute that to Soul Thirst mainly. Oh, and the big takeaway from this point that I'm making currently, is that Grimro has like multiple mirrors worth of gear. So, and I do not. I have something like, this character right now probably has about 200 exalts worth of gear. So, I mean, that's obviously quite valuable, but it's nowhere near multiple mirror territory. Oh. Right. I'm going to put those back in here. So, 2 raw exalts, that's pretty cool. I like seeing that. Map number 2 is done, so hopefully we get some good highlight reels in here. I mean, obviously a double exalted orb drop in one map is pretty cool. But yeah, I don't know how many brother stashes I'm going to get. I'm going to go ahead and talk to myself in the future. I'm only predicting 3, actually, because before I would get 5, and that is with running magic find on my gear, a significant amount, more than just one pariah. And it's with going beyond, so it's way more monsters on the map. So in that case, I'm guessing that the total number of brother stashes I find in 100 maps is going to be reduced from 5 to probably around 3.5. So I'm guessing 3 or 4. I'm probably going to get 3 or 4 brother stashes, but I could be wrong. I guess you'll find out here in a few seconds. I have exactly 75 fire and lightning resistance with no flasks, and I have 120 minimum with flasks. It is a nice quality of life to be resist capped even without your flasks up, because, you know, sometimes you might accidentally forget. Oh, okay. Yeah, that was careless. So that was the first death that I've had that was directly as a result of me just trying to be ambitious with the Sentinel. Like, there was no reason to die there like that. I just wanted to try to get the most I could out of the Sentinel, so I was like running away from stuff. I think I was bled or ignited, so I wasn't attacking anything. But the Sentinel that apparently got me killed gave me a Prime Chaotic Resonator, Gilded Ambush Scarab, an Exalted Orb, and a bunch of other currencies, so you know, what goes around comes around, I guess. Alright. I did it again. Major Sentinel rewards. Here we go. Wow, more scarabs. Holy crap. I do have scarab. So this is scarab reward. Jesus Christ. Gilded Expedition, Winged Ambush. Gilded Ambush. Okay. I am now a believer of the scarab reward Sentinel. I have used scarab reward Sentinel before. I don't remember them being this good. I think I only used it maybe once before. Holy crap, that was really something. So I killed that boss with 0 Soul Eater stacks. I still kill him reasonably fast, but I had a major acceleration speed shrine, so that's kind of cheat mode as well. Dum de dum. This is some casual gameplay, guys. Very casual. Look. No eyes. It's pretty easy, I think. Wow, I actually was where I thought I would be. Oh no, the whatever boss he is. I'm slacking. Templar boss, I'm gonna have to kill him with only 8 Soul Eater stacks. Come on, there's gotta be a strong box around somewhere. No? Alright, fuck it. I'm gonna do it. Bring it! He risks death. And I have no accuracy on my thing! No, actually, fuck that. I'm not doing it. That's not worth it. Not worth it. Change my mind. The combination of having lost my targeting mechanism with only 8 Soul Eater buffs. Too weak. Or that, this will work, obviously. Okay, now it should be strong enough. Out of my way. Coming through. It's all dead. Oh, invulnerability shrine. Shit. Hell, click it! Oh, fuck you. Can't click it. Wow. I still didn't click that. I'm very good at clicking these, by the way. Normally. What? What? Okay, this is actually the #1 hardest shrine I've ever tried to click. Wow. That's... I'm not lying when I say I can usually just waltz up to an invulnerability shrine with phasing and just whoop, just whip that right out in front of the mob's faces. But that was insane. I could not click that. Whoa. It is the hardest shrine to click because the monsters are all, they're bodying the shrine. You can't even click it normally, but damn. Well, I'm sure you're all used to seeing something like that in your maps. Oh no, it's an essence monster. Empowered essence monster. Oh my god. Oh my god. What? Nope. PC said nope. Nope. Okay, guys. I got some bad news. It finally happened to me. Finally, after a long streaming session, I had been struck by the bad RNG bug. 0 brother stashes in 100 maps. Stings a little bit. I'm still in a really good mood, however, primarily because one of my biggest goals right now, just playing the game in general, is leveling up to 100, and it is a really rough thing to do this season with the Arch Nemesis modifiers, especially if you're doing juiced content like I am, especially if you're running any map modifiers, especially if you're running 8-mod corrupted, especially if you're increasing the effect of modifiers on non-unique maps, especially if you're running Sentinel, and especially if you're trying to juice the Sentinel up as hard as you can in each given map. The only thing I'm not doing is running beyond maps. So, and especially if you're doing Legion with Legion bosses, on basically a 150x budget gear, I guess. But I really am happy about how this character's come together. I have felt a lot out of the incremental upgrades that I've given myself. Even I should mention I showcased my bow earlier. In between the break, I spent like 1 hour just trying to craft up a bow. I did get a decent bow upgrade. This is not actually that significant. Unfortunate Crusader Orb Slam at the end for the 3rd prefix has a chance to give hybrid % damage with projectile speed, which would be pretty huge, even at like a low tier. Unfortunately, didn't hit that, but there are no garbage hits on the Crusader Orb, so it hit some mid-rank lightning damage, lightning penetration. Evidently, there's no good crafted prefixes, really, for physical bows. If you already have the flat fizz and flat % fizz. Kind of unfortunate, yeah, but anyway. Yeah, back to the results here. I have 6 grasping males because I've already gone ahead and cleaned up the dump tab.
Not up to that just yet.
All this will have taken place on the stream. Actually divided into 3 parts, not 2 parts. Yeah, one major takeaway from this session. GGG definitely nerfed the rate at which you level the exceptional gems. Or they increased the total number of experience required to level them, because I have the exact same bow I had last time, which is a plus 16% quality to socketed support gem bow. I mean, this thing is leveling at 180% increased experience. I think it's actually the best setup you can possibly have, by the way, with the Maloney's over here, with just kind of whatever you're leveling. And I basically only leveled up one round. You know, I leveled up 6 gems from the bow and 3 gems from the quiver, and that's it. I do have a number of gems that are getting close to leveled again, but yeah, authentically speaking, before I used to level up 24 gems in 100 maps. Now I only leveled up 9. Now I am missing Beyond, so there is some less levels there, but I am getting way more Delirium mirrors than usual, so I'm getting more back there. So there's definitely some kind of major adjustment for that. So that's kind of sad to see, but I mean, everyone's going to be struck down by that, and I am actually looking forward to, at some point in the near future, upping the ante and leveling the Awakened Enhanced gems. Possibly even the Awakened Empower and Awakened Enlightened gems at some point. And that'll be exciting, especially the process of corrupting those. Last season, I counted the Grasping Males and the Enhanced Supports as their final value after corrupting them. I'm not going to do that this season. I think it's more fair or more legitimate if I just kind of count them in a more consistent manner. And if you check the price of Enhanced Support gems, they're practically free at level 1 uncorrupted. And they're worth about half an Exalt. A little less than half an Exalt if you level it up all the way to 3. And then a corrupted version is worth about 3 Exalts. So I mean, statistically speaking, out of 9 tries, I should get at least 1 level 4 Enhanced Support. So I think counting this as half an Exalt per is going to be fine. I think it's going to be fine. So this is basically 4.5 Exalts here in these Enhanced Supports. And then I'm going to count each Grasping Male as worth 1 Exalt, because the 100% increased global modifiers roll is also about the same chance as, it's like 15%, about the same chance as getting a level 4 Enhanced Support. Honestly about the same. And I've been selling the Grasping Males for 6 to 7 Exalts so far this season. I think Grasping Males and Breach Rings in general are even more valuable this season than they were last season because of how recombinations work, and there's a lot of them that are going to get destroyed as they try to get passed over into other bases, and people are actually trying to fracture them even more than they used to before because they're combining fractured modifiers. They want to get them on different bases. You know, people want to get like fractured 100% global increased modifiers on a Val Regalia base, you know, something like that. So that's what's going on this season. So they're going to stay high. In fact, I think they're going to go up even more. I think Grasping Males are, you know, that hit the modifier are going to be worth upwards of 10x or so this season. They actually were worth over 10x for a short period of time early on in the season. Then they dropped down, and I think they're actually going to climb back up. So I'm going to count these worth 1x apiece. So again, Enhanced Supports leveled up to 3. I'm going to count it as half an Exalt each. The Grasping Males at 1x each. And then I'll take you down here to see the window. Okay, we got Excellence open here. This is final results, and here's the numbers. According to the beginning of the video, 23.5 Exalts invested in total investment costs, including the Sextants, Scarabs, putting domination on every single map. That's everything included. 72.8 Exalts as a result. Let's see here. Let's actually go ahead and add in these things. So I gotta add 6 Grasping Males. That's 6 Exalt plus 9 Enhanced Supports. That's 4.5. So I'm gonna add 10.5 here, and that's gonna make it 83. 3 Exalt, and that's gonna make the total here 59.8. Now time. Here's another big takeaway from last season. So last season I was running Headhunter. Obviously, I was on a mirror tiered character. I was able to do 100 maps in 5 hours or less. With certain loot filters and setups, I was able to do them in like almost 4 hours flat, actually. But this honestly took me about 8 hours to do all the maps this time around. I'm a lot slower than I was before, in some part because I'm doing less damage, although in certain ways I'm actually doing more damage. But primarily it's the movement speed. It's the unreliableness of the movement speed. Now, if I get a major acceleration speed shrine in the map, then it feels a lot like I'm running the old Headhunter. As far as looting, even after I killed everything, feels good. I'm able to fly through the map, it's no problem. But if I don't get that major acceleration speed shrine later on in the map, then just kind of feels like I'm crawling through the map and looting afterwards. I will figure out some things as to whether or not I feel like it's a good idea to tighten the loot filter and try to start looting as I do the map. But in the event that I'm still trying to level up to 100, I don't think it's worth doing that. I feel much better about my decision of just making sure I clear every single monster so there's nothing sitting around that's going to one-shot me, because again, my build is highly reliant on momentum. The most dangerous thing I ever come across currently in the game is just randomly a one-on-one situation with a random blue monster or rare monster. Windward will be down, endurance charges will be down, and no inspired learning buffs, and yeah, and no soul eater buffs. So with all those things down, actually a one-on-one situation with just a random monster is the most dangerous thing I can face in the game right now as far as what will actually threaten my life. I'd much rather be surrounded by a million monsters, a million rares, and I could be surrounded by 20 Legion bosses. I wouldn't care because I just easily handle that situation based on how I've built this character. So, you know, you make some sacrifices in how you build character, so I'm just playing to my strengths by clearing the entire map. It's making me take a little bit of extra time to get in and out of every single map, but it's absolutely worth doing. So, let's see here with 59.8 divided by 8 hours is 7.5. I think I'll call this, I'm still going to call this 8x an hour because, I mean, it's pretty BS. I didn't get a single brother stash. I mean, well, this is the floor, obviously, because I didn't get any. I didn't get a single unique that was worth anything really. Also, I got terrible RNG with the uniques. Let's take a look here and see what we're actually working with here. So the biggest thing I got here was raw exalted orbs. I got 12, and honest to God, like half of them came from Legion chests, and I've been getting a lot of raw exalts from Legion chests, you know, with the currency reward over them. Not Sentinel rewards, by the way, even though I ran some currency Sentinels. Legion chest reward. So after you clear the Legion, you get the War Horde or whatever. It has a currency symbol over it. Or even just the regular chest, the small one. I've been seeing that thing drop exalts so much that I honestly don't think it's a fluke. I honestly think they buffed the quality of currency that comes out of the Legion chests this past patch. I really do think that, because I saw like 5 or 6 of them of the 12, maybe it was just 4, but it was at least 4 of them on this run out of the 12 came from Legion chest. And then before I've done this run, you know, I've obviously been running Legion off stream and stuff, and honest to God, like I've seen lots of my raw exalts. Almost feels like half or more of my raw exalts come from the Legion chest specifically, and that is a very, very specific mechanic, a very specific place to be getting raw exalts. Quite surprising to see that. So you guys should try Legion out, give it a try, see if you don't start seeing some raw exalts come from those Legion chest rewards. Next biggest thing is cemetery maps. Well, okay, we are absolutely going to count cemetery maps in full value. They're listed at 5 chaos apiece. Yesterday I sold like 70 of them for 6.6 chaos apiece. Okay, so this is actually something that's currently undervalued in terms of bulk trading. Another thing that is currently undervalued is Legion emblems. So I'm actually making more currency than what's seen here. I know a lot of people think, well, you know, you say you made however many X per hour, but actually when you liquidate things, you got to liquidate them at lower than their actual cost if you want to get them off your hands. Yes, for many things that is true, but a lot of things the actual reverse is true, and the reverse is true for maps and legions. I sell these legions in full stacks for 1 exalt a piece, so a full set of legions, 1 of each Legion type, all 5 Legion types, is worth 1x on TFT if you sell it in bulk. If you try to sell just 1 set at a time, you're not going to get 1x. But if you try to sell 10 sets at a time, you'll get 10x for 10 sets. So yeah, check that out if you're interested. A lot of divine orbs. You get a lot of extra 6 links from Geomancer incubators and strong boxes. I'm going to be touting this point all throughout the season. Divine Orbs are gold this season. They're worth a lot more than usual this season because last season we had Beyond on the Alice device. This season, people are not going to be straight up farming Divine Orbs nearly as much because you can't like quadruple dip on Beyond. You can only triple dip on Beyond, and then you have to like roll it on the map, and then you can't get it on the Atlas. Crafting bench feels really bad, so you're getting way fewer Beyond monsters for unique bosses or unique monsters drop corrupted items type of farming that we did on Promenade last season. I made a video doing that last season, made tons of currency. I got over 1,000 Divine Orbs in, what was it, 48 maps, I think. Pretty insane. But Divine Orbs are going to be going up. I'm honestly really surprised they're only 10 chaos a piece right now. I'm not that surprised. I guess we're only 2 weeks into the season. I predict 1 month into the season they're going to be at least 15 chaos a piece. I predict they're going to be at least that much. I imagine Divine Orbs are going to be 15 to 20 chaos a piece through the latter half of this season. The only way that's not going to be the case is if uniques really just took a nosedive. So it would seem that maybe this season uniques are really unpopular, so people just aren't going to get that hardly any uniques. But if uniques are popular at all, really, then Divine Orb's going to be worth a ton. And people want a Divine Orb, lots of things like Watcher's Eyes and stuff, or Timeless Jewels, things like that anyway. So expect them to go up a lot in price. So what I'm trying to say is Legion is a little bit extra punch because of all the Geomancer 6 links as well as random 6 links that unique. I even got a unique 6 link that dropped that was actually worthless. And there's also Strongbox, of course. So Strongbox is dropping 6 links, corrupted 6 links. Indirectly has higher value this season than it did last season. Strongbox, by the way, is super strong for me personally. It's one of the safest, surest way for me to get a massive amount of Soul Eater buffs on the snap of a finger. Open a Strongbox, 50 Soul Eater buffs or more. That's super nice. It doesn't matter if I'm like, even if I'm at my weakest point, Strongboxes are so safe that I can open the Strongbox, kill everything instantly, and get a bunch of Soul Eater buffs. And then I can go engage things like a Legion or Breach or the map boss, things like that. Wow, 356 stack decks. Holy crap. Also something new I'm going to do with my streams. I think at the end of these videos, what I'm going to do is I'm going to calculate the grand total of currency per hour. And then, you know, if you want to stick around a little further into the video, you can see me identify all the grasping males. You can see me corrupt all the jewels. You can see me open all the stacked decks. So that'll be a fun little finale for the people who like the more gambling entertainment side of things. You get to see that. We'll do that here after I get done talking about everything that I found here. 587 Chaos Orbs. Okay, that's cool. A lot of Screaming Invitations. Awakened Sextants. I really don't understand why they're only 1.5 Chaos a piece when they're over 3 Chaos a piece last season, and I'm still paying the same price that I paid for the Sextant last season. So that doesn't make much sense to me, but maybe the market will normalize and I'm just waiting for it to happen. Recombinators, got a lot of them. Another thing that I was really happy about with this farm was the performance of Sentinel. So not dying with Sentinel, but I definitely got better and better throughout the 100 map session at doing the Sentinel mechanic. Grimro came out with a video fairly recently highlighting Pandemonium Sentinel on the Legion. Popping the Legion, popping the Pandemonium Sentinel. I was already starting to do that a little bit before I saw that video, but when I saw that video, it really solidified that strategy for me. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I guess that does make a lot of sense. You know, higher value for Sentinel power onto rare monsters than normal monsters. Okay, yeah, I guess that makes a lot of sense. I still like to try and like open a Strongbox or start a Breach or something nearby as well as kind of a backup in case the Pandemonium Sentinel slips or doesn't really hit everything. But in general, I've kind of shifted over to using it on Legion. And again, with this build and my current gear, I can empower an entire Legion in stasis, go through and kill it, and still have no problems, even with like mega juiced rare Legion monsters. It's nothing. Even Legion bosses getting empowered doesn't matter. With 100 or more Soul Eater buffs, my animation attack speed has disappeared, and it's literally like it's just a wall of wind of arrows firing out. Stuff just dies instantly. So here's a big piece of information. Look at this. 3 Dragon's Hearts. Well, remember last season? Dragon's Heart dropped about the same frequency as Brother Stashes, if anything a little less often. I said at the beginning of this video I expected to get 3, maybe 4 Brother Stashes. So to get 3 Dragon's Heart is exactly in alignment with that estimate by my calculations, unless by chance that they actually did nerf the drop rate of Brother Stash. I have heard a tiny bit of anecdotal evidence, people kind of suggesting maybe I'm not getting that many Brother Stashes. Well, people said the same thing last season anyway. I personally have found roughly 10 Brother Stashes this season, all of them off stream, go figure. And for the amount of juice that I'm doing, for the fact that I'm not running Magic Find Gear, or at least nowhere near as much as I was, for the fact that I'm not doing Beyond, and thinking about the number of maps that I've actually ran, I feel like my RNG personally is lining up pretty decently with what my expectations are for the drop rate being the same as what it was last season. But I think I am a little bit behind, to be completely honest, especially after this 100 map session. So last season, the largest gap that I went juicing cemetery maps, the largest gap that I ever went without a Brother Stash was about 80 or 90 maps. That's counting rollovers from like other sessions. So like 40 maps on the end of one session, then 50 maps the first part of the next session. That was like the largest gap. Now, I have not found a Brother Stash in at least like 120 cemetery maps right now currently. So I am very much way beyond the record already, and we're very early in the season. And again, I found something like 300 or more Brother Stashes last season, so I've only found like 10 this season, so I've already like completely shattered that record. That is a bad sign. That is definitely a bad sign. And so, you know, you may find me farming Crimson Temple a lot more this season than Cemetery. I absolutely like the layout of Cemetery way more than Crimson Temple, though. I mean, I'm really not a big fan, especially the fact that I like to do Legion and Breach and Strongbox for that matter, because Strongbox also gets effed up in Crimson Temple when it's surrounded by 3 sides on a wall, can't spawn all the monsters properly. But if the divination cards and their drop rates are so unbelievably overwhelmingly good compared to just one card on the Cemetery, well, you know, I guess maybe just kind of deal with the crap layout. It's not the worst layout, but it's kind of bad. Tons of Sentinel rewards, because again, I was running, you know, divination card rewards, I was running expedition rewards, I was running definitely some premium Sentinels, and my loot filter is set up only to find Obsidian Stalker Sentinels and Obsidian Pandemonium Sentinels, rare quality or rare rarity, I guess. So I'm not even picking up magic ones. And the reason I know that the big Sentinel farming strategy is set up to, you know, find these. I mean, look at this. I already got tons of these. Look at these. I found like half of these in this session. These are all premium Sentinels, and you can pause this wherever you want. I find way more than I can use. Honestly, I find way more than I'm almost to the point where I'm just gonna like, if I get something that like, if I get a Sentinel that has just quantity of items found, and I get another Sentinel that has just Sentinel rewards, honestly, I'm about to just slam them together before I even use them to try to make it super premium because I can't use them as fast. And I don't really understand the market for selling Sentinels. We're not counting those. By the way, we're not counting any heist items too, because well, guess what? Heist is not included. I'm actually blocking heist because my loot filter is only set up to find unusual gem blueprints anyway, and I don't want to scroll over all the contracts and stuff, so I decided I'd rather have a 2% higher chance of finding the other things. So yeah, this is the tree, by the way. Next move beyond this for the tree, especially once I hit level 100, is I'm going to be dropping some of these extra Legion nodes down here and over here. And I think the Delirium nodes here as well, and I'm going to dump them into Beyond. I think I'm actually going to have to skip this bottom wheel of Beyond, which is a little unfortunate, but definitely we're going to be going at least these 2 wheels of Beyond. That's for in the future. Some exotic coinage. Let's see. Oh yeah, America's emblems 9. That's a little bit under. 5 timeless Templar emblems, way under projected results there. You can see 20 burial medallions. I mean, that was from all the expedition rewards. I mean, the Sentinel rewards. 1 abandoned wealth from a diviner strongbox. Or no, that couldn't have been from a diviner strongbox because it would have been double. I actually don't know where that came from. I think that might have come from... I don't know, actually. Oh, actually, okay, yeah, I know what this abandoned wealth came from the raw % chance for monsters to drop a divination card. Altar. It came from an altar reward, basically. Yeah, everything else just kind of checks out as standard issue stuff. I mean, 11 orbs of annulment's kind of crazy. Get a lot of random currency. A lot of random currency. 2 raw simulacrum. Kind of a lot because... Yeah, I don't get hardly any simulacrum splinters in a given map. I probably got at least 20 of my maps spawned with the delirium mirror. Probably close to about 30. Maybe upwards of up to maybe a third of my maps spawned with delirium on them. That's kind of crazy. Alright, that's basically all the results there. Yeah, so we're kind of continuing off of the exact same farm I finished last season with. Had a terrible, I mean, literally the worst case scenario for Brother Stash drops with it coming in at 0. Here for fun, let's go ahead and see what I might have made if I had found, let's say, 3. Okay, so I projected I would find 3. So if I take my gross there and I had 15 exalts to it, and divide that by 8, you see I would have made 12 over 12x an hour. So I'm pretty happy with that. Honestly, I'm pretty happy with that. I'm happy with this early in the season. I'm making well over 10x an hour on average. I can't complain about that. And again, I mean, that's going to be the case. From a consistency standpoint, that's going to be the case unless they did actually nerf the drop rate of Brother Stash. Now, the biggest reason I don't think they nerfed the drop rate of Brother Stash is because Impy, who is a prominent content creator who does like the insane, absolutely bonkers, off-the-wall, insane 6-man parties. They farm up like 30 mirrors in the first 4 days of the league or some craziness, and they primarily farmed the Cemetery and Crimson Temple this season, and he was reporting on his results, and their target farming Brother Stashes in the Cemetery as a 6-man party. And he said, at least anecdotally, I didn't see any hard numbers, but he said the results, you know, they do this every league, literally every league, and he said that their results for the Brother Stashes were very much in alignment with what they have been in the past few leagues. So there was no change in their drop rate, and they found like, I don't know, at least dozens of Brother Stashes with how many maps they farmed. They said they were finding like 1 Brother Stash every 8 maps or something like that, or no, actually more than that, more often than that. You know, maybe it was like 1 every 3 or 4 maps. I can't remember what he said, but the important takeaway was that it was in alignment with what they usually see. So he's a pretty well trusted community content creator. I take him for his word on that, and I assume that it's right. Now, I don't know for sure. It's just one person. It's just one piece of anecdotal evidence. It is a really big piece of anecdotal evidence, but it is just anecdotal. We don't have any hard numbers yet. So I will continue farming Cemetery, of course, but this is the conclusion of the 100 maps of Cemetery. I'm going to take this exact same farm and now go into the Crimson Temple. But rest assured, I'm going to first take a little break and level up another bar and a half, because I don't want to enter the Crimson Temple 1 bar away from level 98. Yeah, that sounds horrifying, because I know I'm way more likely to die in there, as I am not nearly as familiar with the mob types and the map layout and the boss as well. I've died from the boss a few times randomly. Yeah, so yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. That's going to conclude everything here. I'm going to turn the stream off now, and I expect if there's any questions here in chat, you guys can look at that. Oh, I can't do that yet because I gotta do the divination cards and all the unidentified. So here we go. 6 grasping males. Number 1. Whoop. No bueno. Yes! Got a hit on the second one. And on the third one. Oh! Making tons of currency. Tons of currency on the back end. Nope, nope, and nope. Well, that's super good. That's better than average. Getting 2 out of that. So, yeah, apparently these are basically worth nothing if they don't hit that special modifier. Somebody can say so in the chat if I'm wrong. So 4 of these are garbage. Just turn those in. And I will keep to it. Let's see what this says here. What does this say? Yeah, okay. Well, it's sure as hell selling for at least 5x a piece. Yeah, it's kind of, I kind of feel like that's maybe a price fix because I still see a lot of these 1-2 hours ago, 8x, whatever, and then a couple down below. So I'm gonna put these over here. And I'll lower the price obviously over time, but for now 8x is where I'm just gonna put it. Go premium. All right, so that's out of the way. That was nice. Big hits. Oh, thank you. Somebody said attack speed per 25 dex is 1x if you hit that. Thank you for telling me that. I wasn't aware of that. Here we go. Enhanced support gems. Oh boy, 23 quality. That's good, right? Nope, nope. Yes, a rank 4 right there. So I already got my 1 rank 4. So now 2. Okay. Now 3. What? Slamming these out. Wow, another 23%. Holy God. Wow, I made up for all those brother stashes I didn't get out of the RNG on the grasping males and these jewels. I just hit 4 out of 9. I've never seen RNG that good on these jewels. That's actually insane. So, wow. Holy crap. Honestly, can't believe that. And these go for what? Okay, at least 3 exalts. That's definitely not a price fix, so I'll just dump these in here. 3 exalts. That's crazy. I'm sad I blew all my RNG on this because at some point I'm going to be leveling up rank or awakened enhanced support gems and doing this on them. You know, once I get a massive bankroll going. But this certainly helps. Now the cool thing is about these enhanced support gems, these are still worth like what, 40 chaos a piece? That's crazy. I only paid like 10 chaos a piece for these. Maybe 20 at the most. So I'm making money. I'm actually making money even when they fail. And honestly, I'm going to put these in for 52 because people always message me for these even when I price them over. Like again, maybe there's price fixers or whatever. I don't know. But that's what we're going to do for that. Now, we got one last major order of business. Stacked decks. Tons and tons of stacked decks. Oh yeah, I forgot. I found this interesting synthesis citadel bow that comes up as potentially worth something. I'm not really sure. Maybe 1x for the quality of gems. I'm not sure. I'm not really sure. And at least like 30 or 40 chaos for this. So the combination of these two together, maybe that's actually worth something. Maybe somebody can say something in the comments if they know. So that's I'm pretty sure that's a high synth tier of spell damage and then quality 2 gems. Okay, we're gonna go to the usual place.
I'm not up to that just yet.
Well, let's see if we can keep the insane RNG alive here. I've definitely not found anything crazy out of the stacked decks this season. I think... What did I find? I found... Honestly, I can't remember. I found a few cards that were worth like over 1x, but hardly any. Nothing like a doctor or apothecary or anything like that. I'm guessing you guys enjoy this part of the content, right? Not hearing many things drop, are we? My loot filter is only filtering out good stuff. Oh, what's this? Oh, this is a new card. Yeah, that's what is that worth nowadays? Finding this card, I can't even remember what that's worth. I just checked that. I found one of those in this run. I think. I'm pretty sure I found one. Actually, let me check that here. Yeah, see, there it is. I found one earlier in this run. So this one is actually from the 100 map run, and it's 44 chaos apparently. Not bad. Not really worth showing up as a red star at 44 chaos. The Eldritch Chaos Orbs are super rare nowadays. Well, I guess in a way I'm really glad that I changed my mind about how to calculate the grasping males and the enhanced supports, because if I had done the sort of like, oh my god, I found 2 grasping males with 100% global, and I found 4 level 4 enhances. I mean, I guess I made like 20x an hour. Well, that's how it goes. Yeah, it's probably better that it kept it more even-handed. Beauty through death. Okay. Wasn't that shield worth a lot back in the day? Oh! I can't. I'm terrible at clicking these things. So this was, what was it, like a 352 stacked decks? That's a lot of stacked decks. It'd be pretty funny if my game crashes right now. But there's nothing in here that's super valuable. So I wouldn't cry about it. I'd say all in all, this is a pretty awful showing so far. I haven't gotten... Definitely losing some money. I guess I kind of deserve to lose some money though after the RNG I just had. Literally nothing coming out of this. Dapper.
I'm not up to that just yet.
Oh, yay. Alright, last round of 50. Always like seeing that one. Three, 2, 1. Oh, done. Well, yeah, that's pretty bad. Pretty bad. But, I mean, you know, obviously the average is going to be kind of less than the stack decks themselves, I guess. I'm not really sure. I'm not huge on stack deck stuff, but I'd rather actually just drop them instead of selling them, to be honest. You just stack decks on Payne's Lab. More luck for you. Okay. Well, that's it. I think this video is probably gonna... I'm gonna have to think about how I want to edit these videos because it's actually gonna add a lot of time there doing the gamble. But I know a lot of people will be curious to see that, so I'll definitely leave that in. Stay tuned for the next video. It's gonna be Crimson Temple next time. I'm gonna try to come out with that one on the back foot of this video here. So, because it's been like 5 days since I released a video, I don't want to get in the habit of going a whole week without a video, especially early on in the season. Yeah, stay tuned for more. I'm going to have to come out with the high budget variation of the Soul Thirst Tornado Shot build. I'm going to have to come out with, you know, how I farmed my first mirror build, because that's, or mirror I guess, because that's gonna happen here sooner than later. And you know, in that video I will do kind of a deep dive on the strategy of the build I'm doing and everything I've been doing the first half of the season. Yeah, there's always more to come, so we'll see you guys around in the future video and on the stream. Please check out the stream. I'm going to be streaming a fair bit more here in the future. Bye for now.